So I say this a lot, but and you know this because we're friends, but
yeah,
it wasn't long ago, a couple of 3 years, that I was a fan out on the floor.
Yep.
Getting off on you guys,
yep.
getting off on, and I can tell because I was trying to be a musician back then. I can tell the ones who were really putting in 110% versus those who weren't.
Yep.
So now that I'm on the other side of that coin, it's not lost on me. It's very incumbent upon me to just give 110%. My neck is all jacked up. My back is jacked up. You're never going to see any of that on stage for me. You're going to see, and all my band. I mean, I remember those who were mailing it in, so to speak. We're never going to mail it in.
Well, if we got you Vicodin before the show, you might be able to move a little better.
Well,
you're like, thanks, Rick. You're the undoing of my whole reality.
No, it was actually I think it was in Jamaica is where we were. And I think, as a matter of fact, this particular dolphin was like a grandson of Flipper.
Wait, hold on. So he did the cotton, he did the little swab and did his family tree as well.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I did that little what's it called, that app you get on the computer.
Yes. The dolphin was so the dolphin's like, dude, can you send me the swab? I want to see who I'm related to. Oh my God, that's funny as hell. I want to know, do they like really know the lineage, or are they like, that tip us an extra $10?
Yeah.
Oh,
hey,
you know what?
Takes, man.
I don't care. I'd still be like, I got to swim with Flipper's great-great-grandson.
Right. Hey,
or daughter.
So I do a lot of arm work, just to kind of a little bit leaning toward the go-go dancing.
Yep.
And you know, when there's a little girl out there doing it with me, I go, oh, I need to watch what I say.
Yep.
Because she's gonna also do that, and then you know, always make sure to spend some time with them and give them a little guitar pick and say, hold on to this because you're gonna need it.
Yesterday we had a kid that was in a Batman toque, just wearing a Batman stocking cap out there, and he was jumping around and head banging. He was having a ball.
Yeah.
And then he disappeared on me. I was going to give him a guitar pick, but I couldn't find him.
Okay, that was me. I was
in
the costume.
The Batman.
Wow.
It was funny. I was in Dallas. I was working at Matthew Tully hairdressing there on Avenue, and I was there by myself. I just finished with my last client. I hadn't even swept up. I just took her credit card or whatever. You know, locked up the door, and I get this text, and I just kind of sat down and went, "I'm going to be in Zepparella."
Score!
Did you say you're in Houston or Dallas?
We're in Dallas. We're in Dallas.
Man. So the home of, I mean, I've had some great times at Vinnie Paul's house there.
Wow.
I love Dallas. The Drowning Pool guys are such close. I have actually Dave Williams' shovel in my drum room that when the first record they had, he used to smack this shovel on stage. At the end of a tour, he gave that to me, and the guys in Drowning Pool and Pantera signed it for me. So
nice.
I keep telling Mike Luce, the drummer, that I need to return that shovel, and it should be like in the rock and roll and maybe hard rock or something in Dallas. You know, I don't want to keep it. It's such a beautiful thing that, you know, was Dave Williams. So
dude,
Mike,
you need to come down.
Yeah. And I definitely don't want that in my possession, man. It doesn't belong with me. It belongs in Dallas with you guys.
So I am very lucky in the projects that I'm in right now with the people that I'm working with. And not only their talent level, but also, aside from the drummer from Rebel Yell, personality wise, everybody was great. Everybody's great.
No, and the
He's
other
a
thing
basket
is,
case.
oh my God, he's beyond a bat. You know what? He needs
See
to
what I
be
did there?
sedated. He needs to be sedated. I'm just saying. Hello, rock stars, and welcome to another episode of Concert Connection. I'm Rick. Hope everybody's doing well. Yes, I have my sock monkey. They left me alone for too long, and again, I get sidetracked real quick. Welcome to another show. I hope you guys are doing awesome. This week's guest is somebody. This is very dear to my heart. This is very personal. This week's guest is none other than Carlos, the bass player for Rebel Yell. Wait, where did he go?
Howdy, y'all.
Rockaholics and Saints and Sinners. How are you, my dear friend?
Good, brother. How are you doing?
I'm doing phenomenal. So, real full disclosure here, why he's at the studio and I'm at home is when I invited him on the show, we're always together. I assumed he knew we were doing everything video. I didn't tell him. So he went to the studio. He's actually at our rehearsal space right now. And I'm sitting at home and I'm like, dude, you could have stayed home in your pajamas with rum chata.
I had to get out of the house.
Oh, so you're like, I did you a favor then.
Yes.
Did you bring rum chata with you?
I've got plenty of beer and whiskey in the fridge over here, so I'm good.
If you need to take a break, get one. I mean, Johnny Kelly from Danzig went to the fridge a couple times for beers. I mean, go ahead, man. I'm good.
Hey, I just might.
Oh my God, dude. I'm not even going to ask how you are because I see you regularly. You're part of my life. I know you're doing phenomenal. Your wife and your kids, you guys are rocking it. Dude, you are the working bass player. Like you between your three bands, you are gigging nonstop. And I know I take it for granted, but I don't think if I ever ask you, do you ever get burnt out? Are you ever just like, okay, I need a day off? Like, because you do work and you do this. And I mean, do you ever get burnt out at all?
I mean, sometimes during the week, if we've got back-to-back midweek, it gets a little rough. But I love to play, I love to play.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
So I will play as much as I can. Yeah.
And the thing is, you are, and I say this in all sincerity, you are a absolute workhorse. I know you to be one of the most dependable, rock solid rhythm guys out there. And I say this with 100%. I'm not like poking at you at all. Is you are the guy that you rehearse and you play so much. I can always count on you to be there when the proverbial turd hits the ceiling fan.
Well, thank you. I mean, I kind of just want to do my part and get everything ready, get everything right. And that way, if things start falling apart, hopefully it's not my fault.
Well, the thing is if something ever, and trust me, every band, and I just had the guys from Desperado on recently, and we were talking about it. It's like we all strive to play a perfect show. That will never happen. None of us will ever play a perfect show. But if you set your sights up here and you fall short here, it's better than setting your sights here and falling short down here.
Right.
And what I do know, and I because again, I'm with you. We train almost for some of the worst situations. So when they do drop in our lap, you're like, oh yeah, we've done this one before. And what I know about you, it's an instinct, is you will instantly turn and look over your shoulder, and it's like, yeah, we're on the same page.
Yeah. No, that's a really good thing to have on stage is, that communication, even if it's unspoken, between drummer, guitar player, singer, what have you. That way, like you said, when things start going off the rails, you bring it back, and hopefully nobody noticed.
You know what? And this is what I have found, and most musicians don't realize it. And I'm guilty at times too. We play shows and we may think they're horrible because we have very high standards of what we expect. The audience was like, that was incredible. And you're like, thank you.
Yeah, I know. And I think every musician goes through that, it's like, the show could be great, visually and acoustically and everything. But if you missed a mark, if you hit something, then it's like, you're a little disappointed in yourself. And
Yeah.
Even though nobody may have noticed, but it's like, it bothers you.
Now, as a guy, and again, I do know your work ethic. You play constantly, juggling 3 bands and a family and a job. How do you make time for all that? I mean, is there just a certain part of every day that's set aside, like, I'm going to play?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It is a huge juggling, tour. It really is. So the great thing about the band that I'm in is we're able to, in a way, dictate how much we play. So we can kind of control that, because everybody else in our bands are in other bands too. And, like yourself and Chi and Matt and Shannon, everybody, Sammy Joe. So everybody's juggling, everybody's trying to make it work. Everybody's got their calendar. So absolutely, I do set aside time for the family. And of course day jobs, but I mean, it's just a big juggle.
And your Miss Angie is a delight. I love when she comes out, because if she has a couple cocktails, she is a ball of fire. And I just would like to say, Miss Angie, when I push your buttons, I am smiling. I'm just saying.
And she would say right back.
Oh, me and your wife have in common, we're both German and Mexican mix. So we get each other.
It's a dangerous mix.
Oh my God. Don't get us both drunk together, please. It's like feeding 2 gremlins after midnight. You're an idiot because you're about to get bit.
Yep.
I want to start out really by, yes, we said Rebel Yell, Rockaholics, and Saints and Sinners. I want to start with Saints. Again, I think you've been in Saints the longest out of the 3. Am I right? Wrong?
No, I've been in Rockaholics the longest.
Rockaholics, okay.
And then Saints. Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about Saints and Sinners, what you're tributing, how long you've been in there. Let's talk about Saints just a little bit.
Saints and Sinners is a Whitesnake tribute band.
Yes, they are.
And I've been in the band, I think, since around maybe, I want to say maybe 2017, maybe 2016, around there. I don't recall exactly when I joined.
Okay.
But yeah, it's all Whitesnake, and then we also do some Deep Purple cuts with Coverdale.
Yep.
So yeah, it's a great band.
And you've got some phenomenal musicianship behind you in that band. Correct?
Absolutely. It all starts with Dave Roberts on vocals.
Yep.
He is David Coverdale, and he's amazing. He's amazing. And without him, there would be no Saints and Sinners.
Yep. And then on guitar.
Well, guitar has been kind of a revolving door, because so many musicians are in other bands. Depending on the gig, I'm not sure sometimes who we're going to have. It's like, okay, let's do it. I don't know who.
and
on drums, Clayton Jones is on drums, and he's rock solid. And he's also in a lot of bands. Euthanasia.
Yep.
He's in a lot of different bands too. But he's solid back there.
And again, that you always, the one thing I know to be factual is you always are surrounded by phenomenal musicians. You really are. You are very blessed, because I look at the lineup of all the bands you're in, and except for maybe Rebel Yell, that drummer's an idiot. But the rest of them,
we work with them.
I know everybody needs a sympathy case, and you really the talent pool. I don't know if you're just brilliant or lucky, but you make everybody that much better because of what you bring to the table. Do you find that the influences kind of swirl around, and you take a little from each of these projects and kind of help make you who you are?
100%. I mean, just like I was saying with Saints, with the guitar players, sometimes it's a revolving door. Chris Jones, who's our manager, does a phenomenal job in trying to find, the best 2 guys available. So that always works out.
Yep.
And then of course, in Rebel Yell and in Rockaholics, we got some great people, and everybody just kind of works off each other, So I am very lucky in the projects that I'm in right now with the people that I'm working with. And not only their talent level, but also, aside from the drummer from Rebel Yell, personality wise, everybody was great. Everybody's great.
No, and the
he's
other
a
thing
basket case.
Oh my God, he's beyond a bat. You know what? He needs
See
to
what
be
I did there?
He needs to be sedated. I'm just saying. Oh my God. I'm going to get smacked for that one later. I do have to call. You also you bring to the table pro level gear. And I do ooh and ah over your basses. And there's some local guy. He's kind of weird, but he makes these like, so instruments. What's the name of that company?
Mr. Buddy Blaze.
And I say that jokingly because you play Buddy Blaze basses. And Buddy is a phenomenal guy, great craftsman, has a phenomenal product out there. What was it that drew you in? Because I love the sound.
Well, the first thing that drew me in was the fact that having a chance at a custom instrument. It's, I mean, never in my wildest dreams would I have thought that I could have, somebody make me a custom build.
Wow.
And then when I met Buddy, got to talking with him. I mean, yeah, he's an incredible person, super nice. So, I mean, even, Joyce,
Yep.
His wife, both of them are amazing.
Absolutely.
So, it even, it's like the guitars become secondary, because you're building a relationship with him and his wife and everything. And then, oh yeah, by the way, we're here to talk about maybe making a guitar or a bass. Yeah. So the fact that he listens to everything that you want, in your instrument, so you can make it as custom as you want it, which is amazing. And yes, the craftsmanship is brilliant. And it sounds amazing. So, I mean, it was a no-brainer, I mean, I could go out and buy something off the rack for the same amount of money, or I can do a custom build and have my input in what I want in shaping the instrument, and it is all my own, knowing that there's no other instrument, like mine, because it's all custom.
And the one that you, excuse me, the one that you're playing right now has this iridescent, like psychedelic, bluish, greenish, pinkish colors. How did you come up with that? That is freaking phenomenal.
Right. It's a hollow flash.
Thank you.
Yeah. So back in the 80s, hollow flash was a big thing. And then I don't remember what happened. There was a guy that was manufacturing it. Well, Buddy ended up hooking up with him and getting the rights to the hollow flash. So that was something new for Buddy that just became available, I think, late last year.
Okay.
So whenever we were working on my bass that I play now, well, my other bass, we were going through a lot of ideas, a lot of different finishes. And then when he got the hollow flash, he kind of threw that in the hat. And I said, yeah. I go, yeah, let's do it. Because yes, it's very, very, very cool, especially when you see it on stage under the lights. It changes colors. It's amazing. Yes.
And the strap that you have, there's a story behind the strap, your Dallas Cowboy strap that you have.
Christian Brooks, the guy who manufactured straps for Stevie Ray Vaughan, made that one for me. Joey Alette, as we all know, Chef Joey, got that for my birthday a few years ago.
Yep.
And she has a couple of Christian Brooks straps. So it's badass. I mean, it's got mojo, it's really cool.
I remember when you got it, we both were kind of oohing and on over it, like, oh, wow.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that is such a cool little thing to have, and like I said, it's got mojo,
What's funny is when you don't play that bass and you like come to practice with something else, I'm always like,
where's your other one?
Yeah.
I have to give him a night off. I give him nights off,
Did somebody in timeout right now? Like
well-earned rest, just
correct me. You have a few, you don't just have one Buddy Blaze. You actually have more than one, correct?
I've got two and a third one on the way. I'm working on the third one.
Wait a second. I didn't know. If Angie's watching, I'm sorry. I did not know about that.
I mean, I only have the one.
Yeah, one. It's like I only have one drum set.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Oh, my Lord. And do you always, with your gear, doing different projects, do you get different sounds out of it? So, like, for each project, you have either a different look or different sound you're going for?
Yeah. In fact, Buddy's finishing up on, he's redoing one of my basses right now, and I kind of think that maybe that'll be my Rockaholics bass, and the hollow flash will be my Billy Idol White Snake bass. And yeah, and then I've got another one coming out, working on that. I'm not sure where that one's going to fit in. It'll probably be a little bit of everything. So yeah, yeah, it's nice to be able to get that different sound or different look depending on your project, you know.
I have a bass. I have an Ibanez bass and an Ampeg bass amp, and I dink around.
I still haven't seen it. You said you were going to bring it up here.
I'm so scared because I don't want you to laugh at it. Go, Rick, you know this is a toy, right? Yeah. But no, it's I always like, if I hold either you or Chi, you guys, if I get to hold your gear, I'm always like, oh my God, because it's for me, it's a few $1,000s in a drum set. It's like, I'm gonna beat the crap out of it. A few $1,000s on a bass, and I'm like, please don't drop or ding or scratch this thing. I freak out.
Hey, it's all good. It gives it character.
Really? Well, let me help give your instrument some character.
I don't mind. I don't mind.
Oh, come on now. What, as we digress way off it, what got you into doing Whitesnake? What was it? I mean, a love of the band, and you were like, I want to do this tribute, or were they like, hey, we just need somebody?
Well, I mean, I've always loved Whitesnake. I really genuinely have. And then I was approached to be a sub in Saints and Sinners.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, I mean, that would be awesome because I love the band. So I'm actually enjoying the music I'm playing.
Yeah.
And then it became where I became the full-time bass player. And it was just natural, you know. I mean, I was familiar with all the songs, you know, and all the different eras. And Whitesnake, over the years, they've had something like 10 or 11 bass players, and each one of those bass players is amazing in his own right. And some of those bass players I really like, you know.
Yeah.
You know, Uriah Duffy, Glenn Hughes, Rudy Sarzo, just to name a few. But yeah, it's really cool.
I will tell you, I didn't even know that because to me, when I originally met you, you were already in the band. I was just like, oh, I didn't know that you were a new addition. Carlos been in it forever.
Yeah, Saints and Sinners was chugging along pretty good when I came in the picture. You know, I think they were together for maybe 2 or 3 years before I joined.
Oh wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, let's transition a little bit into you dove into your other tribute band a couple of years ago, Rebel Yell, doing some Billy Idol, and that again, when you came on board, you and I clicked right away. I mean, I knew right away. I'm like, I like this guy. He's a phenomenal bass player, and we really do. We kind of hold it down, but we get to goof off a lot.
Yeah.
Yes, we goof off a lot.
100% fun band.
Was that a natural transition for you when you were asked to come do it? I mean, were you like, yeah, I'll sit in, or were you like, I'm in?
No, that's another thing. I love Billy Idol too, and so yeah, I mean, it was just natural. I mean, it's like it's easier to be in a band when you're actually enjoying the material you're playing.
Yes.
You know, because I've been in the opposite situation, and it's not a lot of fun. But when you actually get to play stuff you actually like, I think that actually comes across to the audience a lot too. Is they're having fun. You know, they're not just up there playing.
Yeah,
they're actually having fun. You know, and they enjoy it even more.
I agree 100%. I've been approached about a lot of bands, and I'm like, I'm sorry. Yeah, it sounds like fun. My heart's got to be in it. If my heart's not in it, I can't do it. I just can't. Right. It's so difficult for me. And yes, we do goof off a lot. There are some the behind the scenes stuff that happens, and we're like, we just kind of laugh, and we're like, that's just us being us. I mean, because we are together a lot.
Yeah.
Bands, and I just mean Rebel Yell bands. Period. Saints and Sinners. You guys rehearse. You know, we play shows. We rehearse. We play shows. Let's talk about the covers, because everybody's heard me talk about the Billy Idol stuff and us doing it. And I want to talk about cover bands because it's something I've wanted to dive into for a while. I've begged original bands, had a zillion tribute bands, cover bands, not as many. You are in the Rockaholics. Are you the original bass player?
Yes. Well, yes and no. I mean, they went through 2 guys in rehearsals. You know, so there was never an actual show Rockaholics without me. But yeah, so basically I have been from the very beginning.
And what was your draw to that? Just the opportunity to play a plethora, a catalog full of just songs that you love to play, and you're not just Was that kind of the draw for you?
The initial draw was to get a chance to play with Chi and Matt and Shannon, because I've known those guys for a long time.
Yeah.
So to be able to be in a band with them, I was like, hell yeah. And then aside from that, the huge variety that we do is also really cool.
Huge catalog.
Yeah, we do a lot of different. Sometimes we do songs that you haven't heard in ages, and it's like, oh, I remember that one.
Yep.
And because we kind of wanted to tweak the cover band formula a little bit. We didn't want to play all of the top 10 hits that you hear on the radio all the time. So we started digging a little deeper and finding some of the forgotten gems out there and bringing them back up to life. And then we would rework them and rock them up a little bit and do them our style.
There's one in particular that has always stood out with me. It's a Queen cover, We Will Rock You. And your version of it is nothing like Queen. It is phenomenal because it's way up tempo and it is rocking. And that was the first variation that I'd heard. I mean, I'd heard your guys' set, but that was the first one that really popped. And I was like, I love it because you're not sticking with standard formula. You guys said, here's the song. You're going to recognize it, but we're going to rock it out. And you absolutely do. Is that kind of what the whole nexus was? Like, let's take songs and make it ours in a way?
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's what we wanted to do from the very beginning. Yeah.
Now, I get the rock part. What about the holic part?
Well, if you come to one of our shows, you'll see the holic part for sure.
I know too much of the backstories because I've heard them already privately.
Yeah.
It is a little bit of debauchery on stage. Is that a fair statement?
Yes, and we try to balance it to where it's not too much holics and just a little bit of rock. So we want more rock and then a little bit of holics. So we try to balance that out.
It ends up being 40% rock, 60% holics. Your shows are always a blast, and there are always, and I don't know if that was part of from the inception, is you always have guest celebrities, and I say celebrities, musicians come up on stage and rock out, sometimes with phenomenal results. Sometimes the train wreck is phenomenal to watch. And even the train wreck through it every time. But is that part of it? Is like, if you come to a Rockaholic show, you can expect three things: rock, holic, and guest appearances. Yeah.
We love to have our friends up on stage. Bass players, drummers, guitar players, singers.
Oh yeah.
No matter who it is, 100%. It's we love to embrace the rock community, the music community, and we share in that. So it's like, if we're doing a show and some of our friends show up, that are in other bands, I guarantee they'll be on stage, before long.
Not even other bands. Our dear friend Honcho, I have seen him get up and sing, and Honcho used to be a singer, used to be in bands. Now he's not, but he's a dear friend, big supporter of the music scene. If he comes out to a show, Honcho's up on stage.
100%. Oh yeah, that's the one true person that that will always be there on stage.
Always, and it's not usually just one song. Honcho's usually good for a few, and he could probably, if Shannon gets sick, you could probably call Honcho and say, "Hey, dude, could you sit in tonight for Shannon?" And he could probably pop in and do the whole show. Is that an accurate statement?
I mean, it could happen. It could happen.
Okay, I was just gonna say, did it happen really?
It could happen.
I've been blessed to jump in and play not just Rebel Yell, but I played some Alice in Chains. You guys, like, I've been able to jump in, and again, it's always a hoot. And again, the plethora of talent. You've got two guitarists that are both sound guys. So Chi and Matt, both sound guys. And you guys are one of the few bands that when you come out, you guys know it's going to sound good because
it's such a blessing. It's such a blessing to have both those guys being sound guys. And I don't have to worry about what we're going to sound like because I know it's going to be badass.
Yes. And I know how they both work. They're both the professionals. And actually, let's rewind. Everybody is. Shannon being in that 70s band, Metal Shop, Rockaholics, brings that, and Bullet brings that absolute professionalism. You got
totally. He's like the ultimate front guy.
We've got Matt, who is in Rockaholics. He's in Lookout. No, not Lookout.
Lookout. And that 70s band.
And that 70s band. You got Chi, Metal Shop, Rebel Yell, Rockaholics. I think he originally helped start that 70s band with Shannon. Was there at the inception. Again, sound guy. And you got Miss Sammy Joe, drummer for everybody.
I know. She's in so many bands, yeah.
Poisonous, Crude and Tattooed, that 70s band, Rockaholics. Wait, I know I'm missing. Oh, Rocket Queen. Like,
Rocket Queen. Yeah.
Girlfriend. You're making me tired. Like,
I know.
She subbed for me even for Rebel Yell. Like, Girlfriend, hold on. She's an absolute monster.
She's solid,
And we've got yours truly, Saints and Sinners, Rockaholics, Rebel Yell. Man, and do you ever kind of just sit back and go, because you're married to each and every band that your bandmate is married to?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just how it is. Do you ever go, oh my God, I am connected to so much talent out there? It's mind blowing.
I almost feel like Kevin Bacon.
So we'll just call it the 3 degrees of separation.
Degrees of everything. Yeah. It's awesome. It's awesome. Because everybody being in different bands just kind of solidifies, the community, the rock community. You know, like I said, everybody really supports each other. We really believe in supporting other bands and just being, good neighbors.
Yeah.
To other musicians. I think that's really important. And that's the one thing about DFW, has a great, really healthy music scene. And I love it.
Well said. Well said. I preach that all the time, and I think it's phenomenal. And I will tell you, it is something that I embrace. I love the fact that you have guest musicians on. I even stole a little of that. Basket Case, we played Legacy Hall a while back, and we had Miss Yvette, our dancer, who's also
that's right.
She's also in the Crueligans. We had her up to sing a song with Basket Case. We had Donovan from Infinite Journey come up and sing a song.
That was cool.
And Rodney from Local Yoakum, which is a Dwight Yoakam tribute, got up there. And I cannot take credit for it. This is 100% credit goes to Rockaholics. You guys do it all the time. And I'm flattered and amazed by it and impressed by it that I'm like, I wanted to have a couple of folks come up on stage. And I'm going to tell you, you ever come to one of my shows and you know a song and you want to jump up there, please come join us on stage. It's, oh my Lord. I think
it'd be cool. I think it would be cool, to see that a little more, it doesn't have to be extreme, but that would be kind of cool.
Here's what it is, and this is where I want to give huge props to the Rockaholics, is you guys have made it like not so serious, but really about guys. Come out and have a good time and tongue in cheek, let's do this. Let's drag somebody up. If it's not perfect, and we've never rehearsed with this person before, so it may not be perfect.
Yeah,
but it's close enough.
And that's cool too. The spontaneity of the moment is pretty cool too, because sometimes you see situations occur when they're supposed to be spontaneous, but it's all rehearsed, and it's like, and
you're like, yeah,
it's so fake. But our shows aren't fake. It's like we don't know what's going to happen sometimes, and what happens, and it's like, hey, there you go. You're welcome.
Thank you. And it's funny because I've learned so much about that spontaneity. I had never done a drum solo in my 30 years of playing. You know where I'm going with this. And now, because of the influence of Rockaholics and our dear leader, Mr. Chi, you and I are doing solos in Rebel Yell. And I will tell you, that is something that, again, that getting comfortable, being uncomfortable. And whenever I come to y'all show, I love getting up there because not always doing Rebel Yell, but doing other songs that but you never rehearse, because it does relax. It forces you to relax and just go with the flow and listen. And I got to ask, do you do that with all the drummers that get up there? Do you have to like guide them sometimes the way you do me? Because you do hold my hand on some stuff.
It's especially for a bass player, it's really important to lock in with the drummer. So absolutely, every drummer that I play with, there's that communication. Even there's no words, but there's that communication.
Eye contact.
And you have to have that eye contact, body language. And that's really important. That's really important because, you know, obviously the bass and the drums are the foundation of the band.
Yep.
And if we're not locked in, if we're too, you know, loose, then everything is going to
sounds like a wet fart. It really does. It sounds like a wet fart, and it's disgusting. And it's funny because I watch all musicians when I go to shows, and I watch for ticks. And I think I told you that a while back. I'm like, I could tell with you because I can't hear your bass. If I can't hear your bass, I'll watch your foot and you're still tapping. And I'm like, oh, I know exactly where Carlos is now. Great. Got it. Or even like when you're about to change something, I watch your body language now, sometimes out of the corner of my eye. And I'm like, okay, here we go. And it's little things like you will not even look at me. And as an audience, as a spectator, if you come to a show, start watching these things and you'll laugh. But even little things like you don't look at me, but you'll turn your head a little bit like, yeah, I got it. That to me, in a silly little way, I love watching other bands because you do see the little subliminal communication that goes on. And it's a thing of beauty. Are there any ticks? We're gonna piss some people off now. Are there any ticks from your bandmates that you laugh at? Like any that you want to share?
It's all in the eyes, you know. I'll just look over to Chi or something, and he just looked at me. We were thinking the same thing. It's like. Or if something happens, I'll just look at the ground.
You know, they're always going to blame the drummer and the bass player if something goes wrong, right?
Well, that's why we try to avoid.
Yes, we do. So when somebody calls us out, we're like, really? You're going to call us out? No, when I mean, are there any ticks? Like, are there any ticks that like, oh, I hate to pick on him, but I want to so bad. Like Shannon. As a vocalist, and you play with him enough. Are there any things he does that you're like, that just subliminally, you don't have to hear him, look at him, or you see that you're like, okay, I know where he is. It might be.
I think I mean a lot of those I don't even think about. I just already know.
You know him.
You know, so it's like. I was like, oh yeah, he does that, but I don't think about it. You know, I just know that he's going to do certain things, or you know, look at me a certain way, and I already know. So it's like,
and he is fun one to watch because as a vocalist, Shannon really is, and be it Metal Shop, Rockaholics, 70s band. Bullet. He's got the very much the front man down and
100%. Yeah.
But extremely professional. And there are physical body cues because he choreographs obviously with Metal Shop a lot. Not so much with Rockaholics. You guys are a lot looser in that.
Yeah. You know, we just try to, like I said, you know, not have it prepackaged, not have it you know, so overproduced. Yeah, it's just loose, and whatever happens, and you know, if we start doing moves, we'll do moves, but it wasn't planned. We just did it.
During pandemic, Rockaholics were at the forefront of pushing the live stream. Okay, you guys really were front and center doing it. I had the pleasure of sitting at a couple pool parties on hand drums with you guys because you didn't have a drummer that night, or the cajon.
Over there in the cajon.
Yeah. And again, what was that like during the pandemic? And I want to hear it from your point of view because I was there kind of front row with you guys for a lot of it, making the adjustments and getting back out there into keeping in the scene.
Yeah, it was, you know, when the pandemic hit and all of our shows got canceled. We were like, okay, what are we going to do now? You know, and I mean, a big credit obviously goes out to Chi because he was on the phone, he was working it, he was kind of coming up with ideas, doing things like that. So I think within 2 weeks of us losing our shows, we already had gigs again, and we started doing gigs at the Revel.
And Miss Abby actually was a big part of that, giving you guys
huge.
And I'm giving her props right now. She's not with the Rebel anymore, but Miss Abby was really good about going, Rockaholics, come in, let's make this happen. And even though everything was closed down and you weren't allowed to, you guys were able to. I won't give it away. You guys were able to put on some shows.
Yes.
From remote places.
Right. Yeah. Abby's with the Maverick now, but yes. the very first one we did, I mean, it was very experimental. We didn't know what we were doing, so we were using cell phones propped up on chairs, with like beer bottles holding the phone up so it wouldn't fall over. I mean, it was really, really rudimentary. But we tried to make it look like I was in my own room and Matt was in his, and she was in a different location. Even though we were on stage and we were separated, we had backdrops and
you guys were together. You weren't separate.
We were 6 feet apart.
Oh my God. Oh my, I remember because I knew about that. And I remember watching that broadcast and I was like, wait a second. That looks like the same room.
I know. But that's what it looks like.
I was dying. I was like, hey, wait a second. That still looks like the Revel.
I know. We did our best, but
you guys
it was a closed venue. We were the only ones there, and
wink, wink.
Basically, since the end of March, I mean, we never stopped working. We were doing a lot of live streams from different locations.
Yep.
And then eventually, the live streams became with a few people. They started letting a few people in.
Yep.
And then, I mean, the live streams were pretty cool. We were working off tips, through PayPal and Venmo, and that was pretty cool. But it was a cool experience, and I'm glad that we were able to keep it going, because there was a lot of people that did want some type of entertainment, and even if it was a crappy live stream, hey, here we are.
Even if it was a crappy live stream out by the pool and the cops showed up.
Yeah, those were fun live streams. Thank you, Honcho.
Thank you, Honcho. There might have been a lot of alcohol and Jello shots involved in that as well.
I wouldn't know.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know either. Oh my Lord, Carlos, you know what? As much time as we spent together, this is the first time you and I have sat together and interviewed, just you and I. Would you do this again? Like, except for 100%. Next time we will be in the same room. I won't screw up and send you a video link and then have you go to the studio, which I'm glad I was able to get you out of the house. But would you do this again? But like for real, just you and me?
No, I mean, either way, I mean, this is cool too, but yeah, absolutely. And next time I'll bring some of the guys from Saints or something in.
Would you?
And we can do something. Yeah.
Oh, maybe get David to come in.
Oh yeah. That would be awesome.
Man, I will tell you, and your guys are always welcome to come on the show. It's you and I've talked about it, but having you guys, I didn't realize you'd only been with the band since 17, because Basket Case just hit our 5-year mark. I've just figured you guys have been together forever. So I was like, like I said, the band's been together for a while, and then I think it was around 17, maybe 16 that I joined, but yeah. And I will tell you, recently I had Pino on from Holy Diver, and I
cool.
didn't realize that they had started really. I mean, he had done other stuff, but they kind of had really come together about the same time I did, shortly before. And everybody that I met when I joined the Dallas scene 5.5 years ago, I just thought you guys had all been doing it forever. I didn't realize some folks were new to the scene as well. And I thought I was the only new kid, like you guys were already all together. Like, no, some of us had just joined as well. I'm like, you guys faked me out. I didn't know.
Sometimes when a band comes together, and if you've got really good chemistry, it seems like the band's been together for years, and that's the great thing about Rebel Yell, Rockaholics, Saints and Sinners is I've been like I said, I've been very fortunate, very lucky to be around good people, and the chemistry just kind of comes through, and it shows.
Oh my Lord, yes.
Yeah, it shows, yeah.
I'm going to tell you, I feel blessed to have you by my side on stage. You are one of the top bass players in the scene. You deserve your props, and your workmanship, your ethics is top notch. And I'm very thankful to have you in my life every single day. I'm not going to lie, folks. This man right here is very dear to my heart because he saves my bacon more than he probably wants to admit. Actually, he probably does. Like, you owe me a ton of rum chatas, man, because I just saved your butt. And yes, if you're wondering what the rum chata thing is, we have a little ritual where we drink rum chata. We'll do shots before we get on stage. And if you've never had it, don't drink it all. We like it.
Yeah, save some for us. Love the rum chata.
If you ever want to send us drinks on stage, We're not going to ask for it, but I'm just saying, if rum chata showed up, we would consume it.
That would be badass.
If it was a whole bottle, we won't share with anyone else.
I'd put my bass down and go sit down or something.
You're like, why is he in the corner with the bottle of rum chata? I don't know, but he has a smile on his face. It must be good. Thank you for being my guest, Carlos. I absolutely
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Thank you
Definitely
so much.
want you to come on again. Definitely bring the boys. And you know what? Next time, maybe bring Matt with you. Somebody from Matt, or maybe even Miss. I think Matt's the only one from Rockaholics that has not been on my show.
I think you're right. Yeah. We'll have to drag Matt out next time.
Matt needs to come on. Everybody else been on the show. Rebel Yell, everyone's been on the show. Sades, though, we've got some victims that we can screw up. So I'm just saying, you could.
I'll get the boys out, and it'll be a good time.
Oh my Lord! And thank you all for tuning in with us again. Man, if you're new to the show, yes, this happens every week. We victimize people. We yip, we yap, and you're like, oh my God, they're insane, and yet you keep tuning in every week. Go to Facebook, like us, invite your friends to like us. If you're in a local band, share your shows there. You could go to our event page. Better yet, send us a direct message to Concert Connection with a link to your show. We'll add it to the calendar. And if you're one of the first 15 or so folks that hits me up, I will announce it on the video portion of the concert calendar. If you're looking for other formats to follow us on, you can follow us on our iHeart Radio. We're on Spotify. Obviously, we're on Facebook. We are on YouTube. We have Twitter. We have Instagram. We also have a Roku channel and an Amazon Fire channel. So if you can't find us, then I'm blocked, or you're just not really looking. And
you're living under a rock.
Yeah, you're living under a rock, or you're just so busy rocking out that you shook those brain cells right out of your head. And that's okay, because we'll replace them. Thank you again for tuning in. Thank you for being my guest. If we can ever be of service, please ask us. We love promoting bands. The pandemic is coming to it's not over, but it's getting easier. Here in Texas, for those of you that are in Europe, South America, or Australia watching, yes, we in Texas are rocking out. We never stopped. So if you're looking for a vacation, come to Dallas-Fort Worth. Come watch my show, find out where we're playing. Come see some shows, and come up and introduce any of the musicians that you see on this show. If you go up to them at a gig and introduce yourself, they are going to be elated to say hi, chat with you a little bit. They'd love to just meet you. So don't be shy. So again, I'm Rick. This is Carlos, my dear friend. Guys, you're watching Concert Connection, and we will see you in the pit.